One of the things about advertising and advertising around families and fathers in particular is we've tended to focus on very narrowly on a particular type of family and a particular representation of fatherhood. And I think in moving forward, it would be good to celebrate some of the diversity that exists in terms of what it means to be a father.
To prove Huggies diapers and wipes can handle anything, we put them to the toughest test imaginable.
Well, one of the well-known examples in marketing, of course, is the Huggies advert, where Huggies basically had a campaign where diapers were put to the test. In other words, to see whether dads could use them. What it did, it created a bit of a backlash. And Huggies were able to withdraw the campaign. But I think what was interesting about that is, first of all, that there was a reaction against it. And in many ways, I think with that campaign, it highlighted the fact that there are lots of situations where companies really need to think very carefully about how they're representing and showing dads. So Huggies was one example of where it hasn't really been portrayed very well. What we're seeing is a shift away from that very traditional 1950s model to different family types, different family forms, and that creates, I think, new challenges for parents. And in certain situations, spending time and finding time and creating time can be hugely challenging. Advertising, in many cases, is a reflection on what's happening, and in other cases, it shapes our perceptions. So I think it's got a very important role in shaping and setting up expectations of what it means to be a father.
Zoe has done the maths. There are only 6 slices of salted maple and chestnut pudding. But she's 7th in line. It's not looking good. Luckily, Dad is 6th.
I think there's some great ads out there. I think what's good to see is that we're currently beginning to see more ads which have got dads in them. The other thing is we often show dads, having fun and playing with kids. That's again very, very important. But you see that as a central theme. It's still often dads playing, or if dads are involved in domestic work or looking after the kid for the day, they all seem to be completely knackered at the end of the day. So there's still I think we still go back very much to that breadwinner model, and even in sort of contemporary advertising, there's still those strong undertones of the father as the breadwinner.
One thing which we didn't like in today's portrayal of fathers was that sometimes fathers are shown as kind of incompetent and that they're not really trying hard, that they just want to get the job done as easy as possible. And I think that was more prominent a few years ago as well. So I like to see that change, that fathers are more seen as someone who really, really cares about their children, who really engage with the care of them.
And I think there are lots of different ways to be a dad, and things suit people. Particular styles, particular ways of being a dad suit particular people. I think it's a willingness to accept that there are lots of different ways to be a dad, and I think if advertising can capture some of that diversity, I think that will be a positive thing. I mean, what I think is great about the Year of the Dad is that it's a platform where we can actually openly discuss and think about what it means to be a dad in 2016 and beyond. I think there are lots of different interpretations of what it means to be a dad in terms of cultural differences, for example, but it all offers a host of different perspectives on what I think is a really interesting topic. Yeah.